Good evening, everyone. Very exciting time here to win a game at home, but more importantly, to win our first game ever on Ken Riley Field. This week of emotions was a lot for me personally as a head coach, trying to honor Ken the best way possible, what he meant to this program, not only as a player, but as a coach and then as an athletic director, and just an overall ambassador. We definitely wanted to honor him the right way. And so, again, just proud of the effort tonight. It's kind of a tale of two halves. First half, we kind of slept walk through. Um, then at halftime, we were able to, uh, you know, play Rattler football. And offensively, we found our footing, made some explosive plays. Special teams, we started to really cover like we're capable of. And defense played lights out all night long. So just excited about, what we were able to do. Great crowd, great atmosphere. Over 100 recruits here, and they got to see a world-class atmosphere. So definitely excited about where we are and where we're headed. 24-hour rule, we'll enjoy it tonight. And then we'll come back tomorrow because obviously conference play resumes with an Alabama State team that last year, as we all know, we walked out of there with the victory on a late field goal block. So definitely have our hands full, and we got to get ourselves ready to go clean up the mistakes and get ready for a tough Alabama State team back at home this time next week.
Coach, what most do you attribute the slow first half, the slow start in the first half? What mostly, as a coach, did you attribute that to?
Really, just I thought they played more physical than we did in the first half. I thought, up front, I didn't think we played with the level of physicality that we're capable of. We didn't get much going in the run game. Coverage-wise, they had some kick returns. Mike Smith has to give us some better balls, but we still have to cover and leverage the football. So just, the fundamental things, like I told them at halftime, we'll clean those up tomorrow when we hit with the field again. But I didn't think the effort was there that we needed to see. And then the second half, they came out and played with the right effort, and obviously we saw the outcome.
Hey, how you doing, Coach?
Hey, Gerald, what's going on?
Going good, going good. First off, congrats on the win. Can you talk about a little bit about that? You said it was still two halves, but in the third quarter, y'all came out clicking on all cylinders. Y'all actually had four consecutive scoring drives that ended in touchdowns, and saw Jeremy get a little comfortable out there, and also saw a lot of good play from the tight ends, especially Kamari Young. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, I challenged Jeremy at halftime. I told him that, when the offense isn't clicking, he has to be the calming voice. He has to be that steady guy that makes the routine plays. I thought he pressed a little bit the first half. I thought he, maybe felt some pressure from their D line, and we challenged the offensive line, to give Jeremy the ability to step into his throws, to follow through. And once he was able to do that, we had some open spots in the first half. We just didn't hit them, and so we settled him down. And he showed why he's the preseason offensive player of the year. Some big explosive plays by the tight ends. Had a big catch there by Marcus Riley in the third quarter. Terrell Jennings, broke a long run there late. So, we were able to manufacture some explosive plays and show the big playability of this offense. But that was really the biggest thing. We didn't play as hard, again, in that first half as we're capable of playing. And when we finally came out and did that, then, again, we saw how explosive we can be.
Coach, this was your guys' first game at Bragg. I know it was a slow start, but just to get the win and kind of explode in that second half, how did that feel to get the win at home tonight?
Well, again, it felt great. It always feels good to win. But when you can, there's certain wins throughout your career that you never forget. You always remember your very first win as a head coach. You always remember that first win over a rival. I obviously remember the big win to get the monkey off our back in the Florida Classic as well as the Orange Blossom Classic. And this win will be right up there with them. Again, to be able to come out, lead my team out onto Ken Riley Field. Again, just it's a surreal experience. And so definitely glad to win. Always that's the goal. But just the significance of tonight's win and what it meant to not only Ken but his entire family, it's a special moment that I'll cherish forever.
Coach, talk about the tenacity that was Florida demonstrated. I mean, even to the very end, they were still trying to score. They were just, and then they played pretty close in the first quarter. Just talk about that tenacity that they demonstrated.
Well, I mean, they're the number 4 ranked team in Division II football for a reason. You know, we knew that they'd come in and play hard. They play with a lot of pride. You know, they're a very, very good football team. And so we knew that, you know, we couldn't sleep and not play Rattler football. And for a half, that's exactly what we did. We came out and we didn't play the brand of football that we expect here, you know, on the Heights of Seven Hills. And so once we were able to settle down, you know, I think our superior talent and athleticism, you know, started to show up. You know, but again, all the respect in the world for that West Florida team. You know, I tipped my hat to Coach Nobles, you know, and I told him, you know, it'd be great if we can keep a championship on I-10, you know, them there in Pensacola, and then us down here in Tallahassee. So, but great, you know, great opponent. You know, first time ever playing them, but again, I think it was definitely worth the anticipation.
Coach, you mentioned not playing Rattler football in the first half there. I guess what was your message to the guys heading into half? Because tensions were high. You could see there was a lot going on between those two on the sidelines at least. So what was the message to the guys at halftime to kind of keep them composed and ready to play Rattler football in that second half?
It's a G-rated program, so I can't really say what I said at halftime. No, just again, just challenges. You know, challenge the team. Like I said. Fundamentally, you're not going to make huge strides in a football game fundamentally. You know, by the time you practice during the week and you do the little things, the preparation that you have fundamentally, that's what you're going to play with. And so I just flat out told them, I'm not interested in seeing us go out and fundamentally play better. You know, if we're taking bad sets or if we're playing with bad pad level, we'll have to fix those things, you know, on Sunday when we get back on the practice field. I was more concerned with the lack of effort that we were playing with. I thought we were getting physically pushed around by a smaller team. And again, you know, yes, we missed some opportunities, but I just didn't feel like we were playing with that same fire and passion that we've come to play with here, especially at home. You know, to have a 16-game home win streak now. So that was the message. When we turn the film on second half, we better see guys playing hard. We better see guys straining and getting after the quarterback, you know, pushing the pocket, straining to sustain blocks, running backs trying to run through tackles, and obviously Moose standing in there tall and making throws under duress. And the guys were able to do that second half. And, again, we showed what type of firepower we have once we do the little things right.
In your next game, you get to really hit the road in terms of your goal. Conference play, and with the exception of the last home game, talk about just getting to this point where for real kicks in.
Well, you know, obviously all of the goals that we have set for ourselves all revolve around winning the East. This is another Eastern Division rival, Alabama State. It's actually our closest rival, you know, right there in Montgomery. And so it'll be another great atmosphere. You know, this is a game that when we came to this conference, people were excited to see, you know, SIAC rivals. And so I think it's going to be another highly charged ball game, a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, and we have to be ready to play, you know, because, again, everybody, we're the one that everyone's gunning for now. And when you're that team, you're going to get everyone's best shot. And so we definitely have to make sure that we're preparing the way that we need to prepare to give ourselves the best chance to be ready on Saturday. We'll celebrate tonight's win, like we always do, 24-hour rule. But when we come back tomorrow at 4 p.m. for our team meeting, we'll put this one to bed, and then we'll get started right away on Alabama State.
Hey, Coach, Keith Hadley here. Question is, what did you see schematically from the first half that you noticed that you could take advantage of? We saw how much you were able to utilize the tight end and maybe take advantage of that mismatch. Is there anything else that you can give us without giving us too much game that you utilized in the second half to be able to take that?
Well, it really wasn't so much of a schematic thing. They've been a team on film that they don't do a lot defensively, you know. But I think that's also what makes them good. They're very similar to how we structure our defense. You know, keep everything in front, be sound, rally to the football, and force the other team to execute, all while getting pressure on the quarterback. That's our goal on defense as well. And so they played their defensive game plan pretty perfectly the first half, and we allowed them to do so by not straining in pass pro, by not, you know, seeing the hole in the run game, by dropping passes. And if you do that against a sound quality defense, it's going to make it very difficult for you. In the second half, all we just challenged them to do was settle down and just play football. We didn't have to change anything schematically. We kind of stuck to the same game plan. We were able to get some first downs there early and establish our tempo. And when you're able to do that, now you keep the defense off guard. And we were able to hit some big plays there on some screening goals. Kamar made a great play there, his catch and run. Terrell made a couple of guys miss on his long touchdown run. And that's what happens when you start to move the ball and get the other team worn down. You start breaking some of those tackles that in the first half we weren't able to break. So, again, for us, that's our standard. That's the expectation. And I thought the guys in the second half, I thought those guys, our guys did a really good job of taking advantage of the opportunities.
Hey, Coach, this is Gerald again. I don't know if you got the stat sheet in front of you, but the defense had 14 quarterback hurries today, and I just felt like that was that just stood out to me. Just talk a little bit about that, really the pressure the quarterback and how that really helped y'all kind of keep West Florida out of the end zone and really get some offensive momentum all night.
Well, obviously for us, it starts up front, in the pregame message to the team. Last week we were the smaller team playing up, and the conventional wisdom says the biggest disparity is up front on the offensive and defensive lines. And so we wanted to see if that held true today. They're the smaller school coming to us. And so we wanted to make sure that we were able to dominate on both sides of the ball. I thought defensively we did that. A lot of pressure on the quarterback, flushed him a lot, was able to sack him a few times and force some errant throws. I don't know if we won the toughness battle on the offensive side. Definitely in the first half we didn't. Second half, I thought we played a little bit better. But again, it's always going to come down to the physicality of the offensive and defensive lines for us. And if those guys accept the challenge, which our defense has now for 3 straight weeks, offensively we do it in spurts. And so the challenge for us is to figure out how to do it consistently. And if we do that, obviously we'll have the dominant team on both sides of the ball, again, that the talent dictates.